nasty spring weather here in Houston. That's a look at the loading dock right outside of it at Minute Maid Park. We've had tornado warnings and high wind advisory. It's not just outside, it's inside as well. The flag's cooking, and you see a little bit of rain that has come inside the closed roof here at Minute Maid Park. Well, it's going to be interesting. Jenny Kavnar and Dallas Braden. We haven't seen weather like that in quite some time. Thank goodness for the roof that baseball will be played. When you look at this Houston Astros pitching staff, they have really done the damage. They've held the Oakland A's to just 3 runs, and it's not just been the starters, 15 innings from them, but the bullpen as well, giving 12 innings. Yeah, it's about balance, Jenny, and that's exactly what has happened for the Houston Astros as they have found success in balance on the mound. They have a dynamic staff, and that is exactly how the Houston Astros have gotten this thing started. 3 earned runs allowed over 28 innings, just 18 hits. And remember, this is an Oakland Athletic offense who generates their offense via the long ball, and that number there at the very end, 0 home runs allowed. The A's yet to jump ship. Hopefully some of this weather can have some offense blow into town for the A's. That would be nice. Christian Javier, a familiar foe on the mound for the Astros. This is his 11th meeting in his career. That's tied for most against any opponent against the A's tonight. Yeah, very familiar with the A's is Christian Javier, and you can see how things have gone for Christian Javier. 2-2 record in his last 5 starts against the Athletics. The ERA just a hair under 2.5, so he's throwing the ball well. He will be opposed by right-hander Joey Estes for the green and gold. And what you want to see from Joey Estes is a lot of what we saw last time out, and that's confidence. And I've talked about how he oozes that confidence. Well, he logged that first big league W, 5 innings, just 2 knocks allowed, 0 walks, Jenny, attacking the strike zone, and he was efficient. Just 61 pitches needed to get through those 5 innings. Yeah, you're going to have to attack this Houston Astros offense as well, and hopefully another W waiting for this Oakland A's team before they leave town. It's the final game of a 4-game set, and the A's trying to avoid a season-long losing streak that currently sits at 4. Lineups, first pitch, coming your way next.
A's Baseball on NBC Sports California is brought to you by Toyota, class-leading MPG, and more hybrid models than any other brand. Toyota, let's go places. And by Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service. Full service, total trust.
Thursday night getaway night for the Oakland Athletics against the Houston Astros. Houston's taking the first 3 games of the series. A look at Joey Estes, Kyle McCann. Saw Joey make his first start of 2024, a W on the road trip back in Seattle. Hoping for the same vibes tonight. Outside, the vibes are a bit sketchy. Today's game time weather brought to you by Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Started getting warnings about possible tornadoes, high wind speeds, and that inserted itself inside Minute Maid Park. The flag started going, and that brought out Dallas Braden, the investigative reporter. You can find that, I'm sure, on Twitter or Instagram. Or it was raining indoors, so I felt like it needed to be documented. Forgive me, but it's just it's my favorite time of the day. I've been in some precarious positions before, but raining indoors, again, something I wanted a memory of. Well, it's not only raining indoors, it was raining in the home bullpen, so Christian Javier had to fight through that to get warmed up. Abraham Toro will lead it off. He DH'd last night, back in the field tonight at third base. J.J. Bleday, Brent Rooker, Tyler Soderstrom cleaning up. Kyle McCann, as we mentioned, catching. Zach Geloff, followed by J.D. Davis, the DH tonight, Seth Brown, and Max Schumann. Hopefully a homer or 2 in that lineup. Haven't seen that here in Houston. And they'll be taking on Christian Javier. See, it's his 5th start of the season, and Javier is coming off an absolute bludgeoning at the hands of the Detroit Tigers. Just 1 1/3 innings for the right-hander. He was scorched for 7 earned runs. He's going to look to try to get back on track here against an Oakland offense who, for all intent and purposes, has been riding the struggle bus here in Houston. Well, the defense behind Christian Javier tonight. He is throwing to Diaz. It'll be Bregman, Pena, Altuve, and Singleton on the infield from third to first. And then in the outfield, left field, Joey Loperfido, Jake Myers back in center field, and Kyle Tucker in right field once again. Well, Christian Javier comes with a pretty long resume. Really hot and cold last year as you take a look at Joe Espada in his first season as the manager. He was honored before the game tonight by his alma mater. Went to University of Mobile and is now in their Baseball Hall of Fame.
Love to see that. Congratulations, Joe.
High socks, Kelly green tops, ready to roll. Good look for the green and gold tonight. And Abraham Toro looking to make something happen early.
Something he has done so well. And it's been really nice to watch him settle in and get comfy in this role.
You mentioned Christian Javier's terrible start at Detroit, a swing and a miss for Toro on the changeup. And really, it was almost like he didn't have a lot of competitive pitches happening at points in time. A lot of balls out of the zone. Just an inning and a third. He was coming off the IL, only made one rehab start. I guess that didn't go well. Reports saying it wasn't great and trying to figure some things out. That ball on the ground, and Pena will come over to the right side to play it.
Oh, right through the wickets. Right between the legs of Christian Javier. Toro sends it right back up the middle. Look out. That's where you think about trying to throw a foot at it or so, but you remember I've got some pretty good defenders lined up right behind me.
J.J. Bleday, the batter now. And a look at the umpires tonight. Trip Gibson, the home plate umpire. Laz Diaz, the crew chief, is at first base. Mike Estabrook at second, and Eric Backus at third tonight. And slider for a strike.
Well, you've seen 3 of the 4 offerings now. 4-seam fastball, slider, seen the changeup. I'm sure we'll get a look at the curveball at some point. Maybe not a ton of it. Back to that slider, but you know, for Christian Javier, I think coming off the year that he had, you start to dive into who he is this season, and I think you'd be excited to learn that he's continuing to make strides. He's continuing to try to evolve.
Pitch to Bleday, and that's outside.
You know, it's not often you have guys come off a year where they're, you know, setting career high in innings, or they're just really doing well and go back to the drawing board and try to revamp themselves.
Yeah, swing and a miss. Bleday goes down on strikes. The changeup got the lefty, and 2 gone.
We'll talk about that changeup a little more. But until then, I want to tell you about our man Trip Gibson behind the plate. More called strikes down in the zone as compared to up in the strike zone. So if you're trying to live down, work down, maybe a good opportunity tonight. Pitchers can steal strikes working away to the right-handed hitters. So here in this matchup for Javier, fastballs away, sliders down and away. You might get a little more love. But as I was kind of doing the homework in the days leading up to this series, you're going over the starting pitching matchups. You're looking at pitch usage numbers, and what we see with Christian Javier and that changeup, I tell you.
The 1-0 to Rooker, and that's a long way towards left field, and it's drifting foul. It will be. Had the distance.
Had the sound. That was a rainmaker in its own right. Just listen to this. Oh. I mean, that ball is squared up. Get the head out, Rook. But I think Mark Kotze is going to go ask Trip Gibson, maybe bring the boys in. Let's talk about this. Because remember, you can have this looked at here. Fair foul, the homer.
to be a crew chief for foul ball.
There you go. So it's the crew chief review for a foul ball on a home run. And I think you got to understand where Mark Kotze and the A's are coming from here. Is this ball was well over the foul pole, but it's a matter of where it may have headed when it crossed, and where did it come from. I think the A's believe it might have had a shot of coming from fair territory over that pole, but I think Laz got an answer.
At review, it is a foul ball.
Worth a check?
Sure.
Worth a check indeed. So a reset here for Brent Rooker. Saw a lot of those during batting practice, and that's a feeling he's had at this ballpark. Tagged a homer last visit here in 2023. First one of 30 homers on the year last year, already at 10 on May 16th. Into that changeup that you were talking about.
Well, I mean, the usage is up to 27% from 4% last year. I mean, he threw 119 changeups last year. He's thrown 113 already this year.
Here's the 1-2, and he got him to go again. Slider that time. Brent Rooker down on strikes, and back-to-back punch-outs for Christian Javier in the first. Joey Estes will take the mound. First scoreless, and the Astros will lead off with Jose Altuve, followed by Kyle Tucker, Yordan Alvarez, Alex Bregman hitting cleanup once again, just like he did last night. Jeremy Pena hitting fifth, John Singleton, Diaz, Myers, and Loperfido to round it out.
And right-hander Joey Estes will take the ball for the green and gold. Just his second start here this season, coming off a pretty good outing for himself against the Seattle Mariners. And we talked about how efficient he was. Maybe getting ahead of hitters could help him a bit more.
Flipping in on Altuve to begin.
You know, but something that we have to pay attention to here this evening with Joey Estes is the pitch mix, pitch usage, and how he's going to go about his business against a very, very tough hitting team in the Houston Astros. Especially when we start to look at the stuff from Joey Estes and how the Astros handle that stuff.
It'll be interesting to see how Altuve handles this at bat. Kind of a fact-finding mission for teams in a way when you're facing a guy that, yeah, there's a little video on him, but just one start this year, as you mentioned. Features the pitch usage that you can find, but getting in the batter's box tells the whole story, and that's going to find space in the outfield. So to center field for Jose Altuve to begin the game with a single. Defensively behind Joey Estes today. First of all, he's working to catcher Kyle McCann, just as he did in his start at Seattle. Abraham Toro moves to the hot corner. Max Schumann at short. Zach Geloff at second base with Tyler Soderstrom at first. And in the outfield, it's Rooker, Blade, and Brown from left to right. Kyle Tucker, the batter now. He has been absolutely dangerous. 13 homers, 29 RBI this season.
Yeah, the offense kind of rolling through Kyle Tucker. And he is definitely a guy who makes the guy ahead of him and behind him better, just by virtue of the presence. You see Joey Estes change up there 0-2 quickly here to Kyle Tucker. But talking about the stuff, the Astros, when you think about velocity, think about getting to pitches, we see Kyle Tucker setting up out of the batter's box again.
That ball is going to head into the stands and out of play.
But they're a team that has no problem getting to what I'll call middle of the road velocity, 92, 94 miles an hour. Nobody better against fastballs in that range. Astros 327 as a club. As a club. And it's not only the average, Jenny, but you talk about trying to get a fastball up in the zone that you can do damage with. Well, their .633 slugging percentage on fastballs, 92 to 94 as a group, is second in baseball.
1-2, and that's launched out towards right field. Hustling over is Seth Brown to the corner, and Seth Brown reaches the glove up and makes the catch. Seth Brown with the catch at the wall. And they're going to double off Jose Altuve.
Outstanding.
Wow.
Brownie covering some serious acreage. Well, I think as we watch the replay here, Joe Espada is out talking to Trip Gibson right now, and I believe he's going to ask to take a look at it, and for good reason, I think, because it's a great reactionary effort from Seth Brown, who ends up, in my opinion, trapping this ball against the wall. He plays the carom off the wall.
Down call in right field.
Las Diaz, as you can see, they're challenging the out call. So this is going to be a big play here early.
What an interesting start. We're in the first inning. We've already had a couple of reviews, one on a crew chief review on a potential Brent Rooker home run, and right here, Seth Brown selling the out at the wall in right field and then getting the ball in, watching Altuve standing at second. They doubled him off at first.
And they're showing it here on the big board, and you can hear the reaction from the fans. Sounds like they've seen enough to make their decision. Take one more peek here. And what you're seeing is that ball hit off the yellow line at the very top. And then you see Seth Brown do an outstanding job of trapping it and playing it off. He was trying to sell it. Brownie, I'm buying.
Well, we saw a potential trap on the ground yesterday from Tyler Nevin that was called an out. And here they have their answer coming in from New York. So Las Diaz getting the final message and confirming the call before he makes it.
After review, got a no catch. Used to retain the challenge. Replace the runners on first and second.
So you quickly go from 2 outs called on the field and trying to get out of this thing clean to all of a sudden no outs and runners on first and second. Kyle Tucker ends up with a hit, and now Jose Altuve in scoring position.
Well, and I think Joe Espada right now just trying to clarify, you know, whether or not Altuve was going to be able to be rewarded third base. Kyle Tucker rewarded second base. That is not the case.
Now the threat of Yordan Alvarez to get through for Joey Estes. Estes didn't deal with too much traffic in his outing against Seattle. Gave up a home run to Cal Raleigh and a double to Jorge Polanco before getting 2 more outs in a big 5th inning for him.
I think there is a name.
Well, a little bit of a spot here early, but I think one thing we did notice again with Joey Estes was able to keep his composure, maintain a level of poise. Well, that's a great pitch from Joey Estes. Low paint. And Alvarez might have been sitting something soft.
Out of 8 Mariners that he faced with 2 strikes, he retired 7 of them, and right now he gets Alvarez to go down on strikes. Big strikeout from Joey Estes with traffic.
Absolutely necessary. Just a great pitch down, and look, after that fastball, down and away, or excuse me, just down, able to start that away, comes back. Get Alvarez right over top.
Alex Bregman has been hot this entire series against Oakland. Called strike to start. 3 homers, a couple of doubles, but yesterday held hitless, yet had a sacrifice fly.
don't think there's any question that we have watched Alex Bregman climb himself out of that little funk he was in. And I think there's a reason why you've seen him slide up in the lineup. And I feel like if you're Joe Espada, what you want to do is you see a guy like Alex Bregman start to get hot, start to feel good, you slide him right into those run scoring opportunities.
Here's the 1-2. That's in the air towards right field, and it will go foul. Altuve at second, Tucker at first.
Well, we knew coming into this game, the results against the Seattle Mariners with 2 strikes was an important fact, an important statistic to look at. Why? Because we know that with this team in the Houston Astros, they simply do not swing and miss. So getting to 2 strikes is one thing. Getting them out of the box after 2 strikes is a whole other challenge.
Timeout called from Bregman. And a swing and a miss. Bregman goes down on that 4-seamer, and back-to-back punch-outs again with 2 on.
And as soon as I tell you that the Astros don't swing and miss, Alex Bregman turns me into a liar mouth. And that's just 92 miles an hour. But you see it starts about inner third, starts to explode up. And you got to figure with the runner out there in scoring position, Alex Bregman trying to do everything he can to bring him around.
Are your pants on fire?
Man.
Liar, liar.
Hey, I'll take it.
That was big. Jeremy Pena now. More to get through, and he swings at the first pitch, pops it up. What an outstanding job as Tyler Soderstrom makes the catch from Joey Estes, facing the Houston Astros for the first time. A couple of base hits, and 1-2-3. Scoreless after 1.
No score as we head to the top of the second. Time now for our Nissan keys to the game. Riders on the storm. You know where we're going with that.
Yeah.
We got tornado warnings going on outside, high wind advisory. We've got rain indoors. So if we're going to create a little offense, we need the riders on this storm right now to mount up and get it going. And hey, look, how about a repeat performance? We've talked about the success for Joey Estes against the Mariners, first start of the season, last time out, and what went into his successful outing. So if he can do that after a phenomenal 7-inning performance last night from Aaron Brooks, you've got some guys down there in that bullpen who I got to believe are itching and ready to go, ready to get some important outs.
0-2 to Soderstrom, and that misses.
Here's AB. 7 strong, just 3 earns allowed.
Such an important performance. The bullpen had been utilized a lot on the road trip so far, and Aaron Brooks comes in, filling in the rotation, becomes the 8th starter used. He got to work, quality start. It was 7 innings strong, and unfortunately the offense couldn't get anything going last night. Let's swung on and skied high towards the catwalk. Altuve backing up, but charging in and calling him off is Kyle Tucker. One gone here in the second for Christian Javier. He'll face the left-handed hitting catcher Kyle McCann. Javier made his debut in the COVID season of 2020, and it's one of those international signings that the Houston Astros have had so much luck with. We saw Framber Valdez last night. Blanco earlier in this series, who's now suspended for 10 games after he was ejected for having a foreign substance on his glove. And Luis Garcia, who's been on the injured list.
We heard Manuel Blanco speak today before the game regarding his suspension. He said, look, I just want to, not need to, excuse me, I just want to get back as quickly as I can to help my team. And we understand that, you know, if you're going to appeal and what that can mean for your timeline, he just wants to get back in action.
Well, it has to be 10 lonely days sitting there. You're a member of the starting rotation, you know your team's counting on you, and now they're down to a 25-man roster while you're gone. And a called strike to Kyle McCann.
Well, and that's the key, is he understands what sort of impact he's having on the team by not being able to have an impact on the team. Sort of hamstring the rest of the guys.
3-2 now. And that's maybe creeping into some of the control issues that he had against Detroit. Velocity also seems to be a bit down for Christian Javier. Rolled over foul.
Well, just his second start back. So it might be a matter of, you know, still just physically bouncing back, physically getting himself to the point where he was prior.
And a swing and a miss. Third strikeout tonight. Kyle McCann goes down. Let's go back to Tuesday and all the things that went down on the field. Manuel Blanco comes out, hands the glove over. Umpires look at it and say nope. Kept trying to show his hands, Dallas, to say I'd have sticky stuff on my hands if I was using it.
And when asked today,
grounder there for Geloff, and Bregman across the diamond. So 1, 2, 3 once again for Christian Javier.
the MLB Ballpark app will complete your next visit to your favorite ballpark. You can buy and manage game tickets. Exclusive offers are available. You can redeem those offers and access exclusive content and a whole lot more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today.
To work for Joey Estes here in the second against John Singleton. Jose Altuve led off with the single, and then Kyle Tucker was out as Seth Brown trapped the ball against the right field wall just below the yellow home run line. Upon review, they said it was a hit, so early traffic for Joey Estes, and he proved once again, put him under pressure. He likes it. Picked himself right out of it. A couple strikeouts. Got Pena to pop up, and 22 pitches in that first inning. Trying to find some efficiency hopefully here. But down 3-0, gets the called strike against Singleton. Comes back to the four seam. That's a pitch, Dallas, that he threw 54% of the time in his first outing against Seattle. Do you feel like we might see those numbers shift today?
Well, let's take a look at the arsenal during that outing against the Seattle Mariners. And there's your fastball at 54%. The slider coming in at 28. You see the changeup and the cutter following suit. And there's the success rate against the arsenal. And we've talked about how good of an outing it was for Joey Estes. But you have to remember, as I was highlighting, how well this team hits the fastball.
That's in the air for Diaz. Middle infield will have the call, and it'll be Zach Geloff pulling it in.
And the damage that they've been able to do against the fastball is well documented. And I can promise you that the preparation for Joey Estes and Kyle McCann and the rest of the staff has addressed that. And you're talking about a team, the Houston Astros, who do a really good job of scouting in their own right and figuring out how they are going to be attacked. So it's about executing a game plan that keeps you one step, one pitch ahead of the opposition. And I think what you're seeing right now is Joey Estes attack with the fastball and then rely on the spin.
Jake Myers didn't play in the game yesterday. Two walks through the first 2 games for Myers.
You know, these are counts, Jenny, right here, 2-1, where he has to be able to get back to the secondary stuff, get it in the strike zone to get himself back in the count to avoid that fastball getting hunted.
And that's hit hard into left field. Line drive will move Singleton up to second.
And so that right there is kind of an example of what we've been discussing. Right, it's a 91-mile-an-hour fastball, so it's not going to overpower Jake Myers. Instead, what it does is it gives him an opportunity maybe to look for something soft, but react to a fastball, believe it or not, and fight it off and muscle it down the line there.
So back-to-back innings of runners on first and second. This time 1 out, and Joey Loperfido will swing at that fastball. That walk issued to Singleton, the first of the season, as Estes didn't allow a walk against the Mariners. So got ahead 0-2 with the fastball. And again, to your conversation, if you're working, you mix it up here.
I mean, he can go a number of different ways. 0-2, he can expand up with the fastball to get him to the next pitch.
And that's out towards right field and into the stands. A couple fans chasing for it. Probably not the crowd on hand that was expected with the storms outside tonight. Just talked to Oakland A's PR personnel. Greg Korn flew in today. Luckily he made it, but it seems like it's a bit messy outside.
See, going back to the fastball there. And that's after he got the swing on the curveball down, trying to slow him down. Road Trip Mike's in the house.
Nothing's going to slow him down, right?
You see there at 93, just a couple ticks up off that 91-mile-an-hour fastball that Jake Myers was able to get to, and that's some great insight to what just a couple ticks on the fastball can do for you.
And a swing and a miss. Joey Loperfido going down, and once again, Joey Estes battling the traffic.
Well, this was a phenomenal at-bat for Joey Estes. Put the changeup in a perfect spot after speeding Loperfido up with some fastballs. I mean, you get him to offer at and foul off that fastball up and in, and then you drop that one down on him. That is a tough, tough place to cover.
Now trying to attack Jose Altuve. 2 of the 3 strikeouts off the slider.
I like it, Joey Estes. Just letting him know I am coming right at you.
called strike. Very first pitch of the game literally went right at Jose Altuve. Out of the way, I'm sure got away from Joey Estes a bit, but perhaps an insight to the game plan, and once again brushing him back.
Well, Altuve's a guy, he's been known to dive and try to reach out over home plate and hook baseballs into the Crawford boxes. He's made a pretty good living at doing it here.
And that's out to left field. When Rooker reaches up, and Joey Estes once again gets in a little jam and just wiggles right out of it.
Surprise someone during an A's home game with a personalized scoreboard message. From marriage proposals to birthday celebrations, you can get a scoreboard message for any occasion. Messages can be shown for a donation to the A's Community Fund, and you can order your message online at athletics.com/scoreboard.
J.D. Davis, the batter, and a slider from Christian Javier to begin here in the third. He's looking for their first base runner of the game.
Well, it's just been a tough time. There hasn't been many rays of sunshine to peek through the clouds offensively for the A's. They're trying to figure out a way to punch through the storm.
JD got the start yesterday, had a infield single, didn't travel too far, just one of 2 hits.
Well, Jenny, it's not like it's been an easy road to travel against the guys on the mound. The Astros have ran out there.
And J.D. Davis watches the changeup by. First out and 4th strikeout.
Well, and it's been 2 on this changeup and 2 on the slider. But the fact that he has no problem moving that pitch around, they may have wanted that away, but ended up getting lucky catching the inside corner.
I'll bring up Seth Brown.
But you think about it, it's a 3rd straight game now. The A's are facing a pitcher on the mound who's thrown a no-hitter, or at least been a part of a no-hitter.
2 combined no-hitters for Christian Javier. At least started the no-hitter. I don't want to ruffle your feathers bringing up combines, you know.
Yeah, and they're cute.
That first 40 games for the Astros, again dealing with a ton of injuries, but this series they've found their footing. We talk about Alex Bregman finding his bat this series. The pitching staff saw that sub-1 ERA.
Well, and during this series, I mean, look, the 11 games coming into this series, the offense was there. Things were clicking.
And the changeup seems to be clicking just nicely for Christian Javier tonight.
Well, we knew it would be, and that's why I wanted to highlight that pitch at the beginning of the ball game, so we could, during this ride, see just what kind of a weapon it was going to be.
And Seth Brown will go down on that changeup pitch. 2 gone.
Look, and right now what he's doing is he's setting the speed limit early. I'm going to show you a fastball, and then from there just manipulating the baseball. And I think the game plan right now for Javier is we can get ahead with strike 1, and then if I'm going to be able to get these hitters to fish, there's no reason to throw them anything close.
Max Schumann hitting 9th tonight. She had a 2-hit night to start the series. 3 total hits here in Houston.
Javier, back to that changeup. I mean, you're watching him wipe guys out with it, and you're also watching him use it to get himself back into the count behind. 2-0, no problem. Drop a change piece on you. Now here 2-2. Something tells me in my head, because he's punched out the first 2 guys via the changeup, he'd like to wipe out the side and maybe even do it in fashion all on the changeup.
Pitch, and how about Max Schumann breaking things open with the hit? Knock to left. Get something started.
Well, he got a breaking ball that was entirely too hittable. I mean, this slider just catches every bit of home plate. Max Schumann able to put barrel to baseball.
Max Schumann on back to the top of the order, and Abraham Toro. Toro's had 21 hits in the month of May. That's tied for most this month in Major League Baseball. He's done it over the course of 14 games. Schumann takes off, and no throw down. A stolen base for Max Schumann. Make it 2 on the year.
Great jump. Really no contest. See Diaz, he's just going to put it in his hip pocket. No shot. Well, this is where Javier has been so tough. You go back to last year, second time through the order. Did a great job of adjusting.
On the ground. Altuve will scoop it up and throw to Singleton. Runner left in scoring position for the Oakland A's. Still scoreless as we go to the bottom half of the inning. For the third, scoreless here in Houston, and Joey Estes sitting at 44 pitches after 2 innings of work. He's let a couple Astros on each inning and then found a way to get out of it. Kyle Tucker, Yordan Alvarez, Alex Bregman do up. 45 pitches now becomes interesting, Dallas, because 61 pitches is where he ended in Seattle, I think, for a variety of reasons in that game. He dug deep for 5, and really his manager Mark Kotze putting a lot of faith and trust in him to even finish the 5th.
Well, he enters this 3rd inning really about an inning or so ahead of schedule, or I guess I should say behind schedule in terms of pitch count. At 15 pitch average per inning. He started this with 45. And that's why you talk to a lot of guys from the old school, and they'll tell you, you know, maybe sometimes 70, 80 pitches is just when I start getting going. That might just be what it takes me to get comfortable, to figure something out.
There's that rare cutter inside on Tucker. Just saw it a couple of times against Seattle, and now a walk to begin. Mentioned Mark Kotze. It's time now for our T-Mobile coverage cam, and let's go back to that moment in Seattle in the 5th inning after Jorge Polanco doubled. Got a ground ball out, and with the lefty and Luke Raley coming up, Kotze went out and wanted to look in the eyes of his 22-year-old starter and make sure he was ready to finish it. And I think that emotion that he showed on the field said everything. This is in the air for Alvarez, and Toro will play it in fair territory for the out. those moments aren't lost on young players like that. You realize real quick when a guy just the stature of Mark Kotsay alone is looking you in the eye saying, we're going to finish this. Can you do this? I can imagine you had moments like that in your career.
Well, that's what you want. You just want to have that confidence instilled in you from the manager. And you want to have him understand and feel your desire to compete. And if in that moment is when that finally happens, and it really, I think, shines through with how he was able to finish.
That's on the ground, and it's going to get through on the left side. So a single to left field for Alex Bregman. Kyle Tucker now at second, and Dallas, we have seen this in each frame so far tonight.
Well, Alex Bregman just staying back here, and again, it's a mistake, just a little too hittable. And right now, Joey Estes, runners on first and second, one out. In a little bit of a spot. He got Pena to offer at a first pitch breaking ball first time around.
Got him to pop up to end the first inning, and there gets him to swing through the fastball. Fastball is flashing at 63% tonight.
That's why I've always laughed at, you know, the idea that you don't have a good fastball, so why are you throwing it? Or you got to be careful. Well, that's how I'm going to set the speed limit for the ball game today, and that's how I'm going to open up the other part of the plate where I'm going to get my outs. And that's what's going to allow the secondary stuff to be as effective as I want it to be, is because I can put the fastball where I want, not shy away from it.
1-1 on the ground, and Schumann's going to come up, flip it over to Geloff and on to first, but not in time. Fielder's choice sends Bregman back to the dugout. Kyle Tucker now at third, and Pena with speed at first.
Well, this was the only option that Schu was going to have if they were going to go ahead and get that lead runner at second base. And Tucker easily on his way over to third, but want to make sure you keep that second runner out of scoring position. He wasn't going to be able to charge it and get a quicker hop and create a more difficult throw to second base to try to get the double play. Wise decision.
Now 2 outs for Estes against John Singleton. Got him in a full count his first at bat, ended up walking. Two.
You see Singleton break the hands there, disengage, almost his version of a check swing, trying to hold up.
Pitch from Joey Estes, and it's inside. The runner, and Kyle Tucker came down the line a bit more.
Well, that's about 95 over there to Tyler Soderstrom at first base. Checking in on Mr. Pena.
He has 6 stolen bases this season. There's the pitch. Just missing up top.
Well, I like the attack plan here from Joey Estes. Hand height, especially with Singleton. You can see how noisy he is pre-pitch setup. Those hands are gyrating, they're up and down.
Pena will take off on the full count, and they lost Singleton. A walk to load the bases here with 2 outs in the third.
Well, that'll bring out pitching coach Scott Emerson. See if he can't get Joey Estes just to catch a breath or two here and re-centered. You got Diaz, who popped out to second base, his first at bat. And I think right now, it's a guy like Diaz, runners on base. If you can get ahead 0-1, I think you almost can treat it like it's going to be 0-2 and get him to really press.
Tanner Diaz, the hitter. He's hitting .273 with runners in scoring position. Thought about it. (1-1), and that's out towards the gap in left center field. It's going to drop in, and the Astros are on the board. Kyle Tucker home, followed by Pena, and a bases clearing double for Diaz.
One, I think, again, just a mistake. Left up and hittable. I mean, maybe not a terrible pitch, but 1-1 slider that stays close to Diaz. And I think with a pitch like that, you can see it out of the hand. You see it start at you, and I think you understand, if I can stay close and stay on this pitch, might have an opportunity to do damage, and Diaz sure did.
3-0 lead for the Astros. Jake Myers wants in on the action, and he sends one to left field. He'll round first, and the throw off the mark, or it would have been a close play at second. Back-to-back doubles, and it's 4-0.
Well, that's two hanging breaking balls in a row that have both been clubbed for extra bases. And with these guys starting to work their way second time through, I think you start to pay attention to some of the ways that guys are being pitched ahead of you. Maybe you're picking a pitch out and you're looking for it. I think that was the case there with Myers.
Myers hesitated around first, and that would have been close. Just a bit off. Perfito in back-to-back starts. 1 for 3 yesterday. At center field today, over in left. Pitch 70 for Estes, and falls behind 3-1.
And there's left-hander Hogan Harris. He would be used for bulk activity if necessary.
That ball's launched towards right field. Seth Brown will get back towards the wall and has nowhere to go but to turn and watch a homer. 2-run shot for Joey Loperfido. That's his first homer of the season, and it is quickly 6-0 Astros.
Loperfido, you can see just getting around a pitch away. I mean, that ball is outside, and he just comes around and hooks it right out of the ballpark.
Ninth batter faced here in the third with Jose Altuve up, and the third time he's seeing Joey Estes.
There appears to be, I don't know if it's a towel or a cup or something on the ground out in front of the bullpen that they were tending to.
And something white is popping towards that gate there, and that's a line shot right at the glove of Toro. Inning over, and it couldn't end fast enough. 6-0. Astros take the lead against the A's. Nothing Astros. A couple extra base hits and a homer from Joey Loperfido. Top of the fourth we go, and we've been talking about the new bat tracking data from MLB. Gone over some bat speed, fast swing rate, squared up rate. So now we're going to talk about blast, Dallas, and what data we can gather from it.
Well, and I think we need to understand, obviously, what a blast is. And as you can see, it's the most valuable swing there's going. Why? Well, because a blast swing is one that is squared up and has a fast swing component to it. And remember, a squared up swing doesn't have a bat speed minimum, but a blast does. And we know that a fast swing is 75 miles an hour or greater.
JJ Bleday showed bunt and pulled back.
And now we're talking about squaring a baseball up, and we, if you remember, know that that means you have attained 80% of the max attainable velocity when you combine the pitch speed and the barrel speed of the bat.
That's popped up, and it looks like it's going to remain playable for Diaz. He'll get there for the catch.
So let's show you the leaders in the Oakland clubhouse as far as blasts go. Shea Bangaliers at the very top, no surprise, with 31. And then you got Rook and Bleday and Toro, 24, 23, and 22 respectively. So they've been able to get the barrel of the bat to the baseball with authority. And I think if you start to dive in and you look at some of those leaderboards, you've got some folks that you are very familiar with sitting at the top of those leaderboards. William Contreras. He's got 63 total blasts this season. And fellas like Juan Soto, Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Judge. How about the ageless wonder, Sal Perez? Do it, Sal.
Yeah, this weekend with the Kansas City Royals, the next stop on this 10-day road trip for the Oakland A's.
Backstop just blasting baseballs. But again, you know, I think that's one of the numbers or one of the metrics that when you want to just talk about raw power and what that looks like statistically, the blast factor, I think is going to be a stat that lights people's eyes up.
Swing and a miss for Rooker, and he goes down. 6 strikeouts for Christian Javier. Six ties the most he's had this season, led off against the Yankees with 6 strikeouts in 6 innings. Ended up on the IL after a really good start against Texas here, where he lasted 7 innings. Quality start baseball, and then pitch clock violation happening here against Tyler Soderstrom, so it'll start 1-0.
Tell you, the A's rolled into Houston and the offense has just hit the brakes. We were talking about it before. The 11 games prior to this series, over 6.5 runs per game. They were hitting 261 as a group, 20 homers. But during this 3-game set, 1 run per game. And they've hit 186 coming into tonight.
The last 2 nights alone, just 3 hits now through 13 innings.
Well, and again, I mean, it's 3 games, but for a team who accumulates over half of their offense via the home run, you have yet to hit a home run.
It's hit a skid. 113 at bats without one, and now make it 114. Well, that'll be a plate appearance, but Tyler Soderstrom will reach on the walk. And a base runner is a base runner. They need anything they can get right now with Kyle McCann coming up.
Well, you know what you don't want to have happen offensively is you get down early and then you feel like with every at bat you have to try to hit a 2-run homer, or you're trying to hit an extra base hit. Like, you just need to continue to apply the discipline and the approach.
Kyle McCann has had that this year all season long. When you're not playing every day, you're the backup catcher. We saw him DH 1 game here on the road trip. He's hitting 342. He's taking some really good at bats this year. And we've seen the power form for him. 3 home runs.
Tidy little slider from Javier. I tell you, that slider and that changeup have been on their best behavior for Christian Javier.
Here's the 1-2, and it was the slider that got McCann to go down. 7 strikeouts for Christian Javier and an Oakland A left on base.
On NBC Sports California is brought to you by Airport Home Appliance. Get next day delivery on hundreds of in-stock appliances. Visit airportappliance.com.
6-0 back here in Houston, bottom of the 4th, and Joey Estes continues to work. We got some injury updates today. Ken Waldachuk did have successful Tommy John surgery. In fact, they also did a flexor tendon repair. That'll happen, and of course the disappointing news that you're going to miss time with that injury, probably 13 months or so. Won't see him till the middle of 2025, and I know it's been a disappointing journey for Ken Waldachuk, who really thought he was going to be able to avoid surgery after the injury originally occurred with that flexor tendon last September. You also saw Luis Medina on there. He's making his way back, but that news this week on a called strike to Kyle Tucker that Alex Wood had to go on the IL, joining Joe Boyle, and that's where Joey Estes, this becomes, you know, a very important, valuable piece of experience that he's getting here, because you're inserted into this starting rotation as a healthy arm.
Well, it's experience that I think Joey Estes was going to get one way or the other, meaning felt like he was making strides and was going to pitch his way to the big leagues at some point in time, regardless of health issues ahead of him that might have opened up opportunities a little sooner. But the idea of realizing that things haven't gone well for you up until this point in your outing, but you got to figure out how to get outs and how to get through it, that's something that's learned long before you get here. And I think the reason those lessons are learned, and that is also why I think talent evaluators want to see guys, if it's going to happen, see them struggle at the minor league level, so you can evaluate how they work through those issues.
We'll count walk to Kyle Tucker. It'll bring up Yordan Alvarez, who's 0 for 2 today.
You know, and it's also important to learn how to get through those types of outings. An outing like this. And it's very different if you're trying to figure out how to navigate these uncharted waters for the first time in the big leagues, especially against a lineup like the Houston Astros, who absolutely pound the fastball. They don't swing and miss. And now you're going to be asked to, hey, I know you might not have your best stuff, command, really a combination of any of it, but you got to figure out how to get outs and get through these innings.
0-2 to Alvarez. They need help too, because tomorrow it's not determined yet who is going to start that opener in Kansas City. It'll be a late night flight. They'll get in late. But really, Kotsay had to work through this game. They got to see who they're going to use down there in the pen. And there's a strikeout of Yordan Alvarez. Saw Hogan Harris get up to warm up, and I think all the long guys will be in play for tomorrow if you're going to have to go with a bullpen day.
Well, there's no question. You know, whether or not you're able to get somebody here in time is a completely different story.
Alex Bregman now, and he swings at the first pitch to left field, and that's going to kick off the wall. Brent Rooker will throw it in, and third base, Kyle Tucker slides in. Double for Alex Bregman.
Well, and Rooker got a favorable carom off the base of the wall and made a very strong throw into Toro at third base. Problem was it was just offline. Should this ball have been on target, I think they've got a good shot of getting Tucker at third base. You see this ball bounce directly off the base of the wall and roll right to Rooker. Fires it in. Well ahead of Kyle Tucker's arrival, just offline.
Jeremy Pena fouls off the first pitch.
Well, Mark Kotsay now has the infield in. You got to stop the bleeding. We are not in a position right now to continue to trade runs for outs.
Estes, just the second start of the season, just his fourth big league start. A pair of appearances last year. He was acquired from the Atlanta Braves back in March of 2022. Along with Shea Langoliers and a couple other players, a 5-player deal for Matt Olson. Here's the 0-2 to Pena. Swung on, and watch out, Gary Pettis.
When I can remember, you know, when that trade happened, I called a good buddy of mine and AAA pitching coach at the time, Dan Meyer, who had experience and familiarity with Joey Estes. Said, DB, you are going to love this kid. Love him.
Oh, get out of play.
And I think for a lot of the reasons that I have gravitated towards Joey Estes were the reasons that my friend Dan Meyer was talking about. And that's the competitive spirit in this guy, the no-quit attitude.
Tucker at third, Bregman at second. saw in the first 2 innings the will to compete with your back against the wall, and unfortunately that 3rd inning got away. A power hit at the bottom of the lineup, and that's in the air towards right field. Tucker will tag and head home. Here's the throw, and it doesn't get there in time. Sacrifice fly for Jeremy Pena adds a run, 7-0.
Well, maybe not quite the at-bats that Pena would have liked this evening, but here in his 3rd, he's able to get it deep enough out to Seth Brown. Accurate throw, just not in time. Speedy Tucker. And that'll be all for Joey Estes. Mark Kotsay going to the bullpen Lefty Hogan Harris coming on in.
Harris will come in with 2 outs here in the 4th. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and smog experts. 24 All-Star Teacher Award is presented by Provident Credit Union. Go to NBCSportsCalifornia.com/AST or scan the QR code to check out Pamela Lynn McAllister of Albany High School, as well as other finalists, and vote for your All-Star Teacher. The grand prize winning teacher school received $30,000. Vote now. Lefty and Hogan Harris has been summoned from the pen, and right away they're going to call a balk. That will make it 8-0 as Alex Bregman comes home, and that is not a good start.
Well, Mark Kotze is asking right now, did you put the ball in play? And that's what he's asking. Did you put the ball in play? And that right there, that little stall, you see the little start-stop, that's the balk. And the reason Mark Kotze wanted to know if the ball was put in play. Have you activated it? Great game time. And that would be a balk. If the ball had not been put in play, Hogan could do jumping jacks out there if he'd like to.
Second appearance of the season for Hogan Harris. He was used in a lopsided game against the Rangers at the Coliseum, where the A's lost 15-8 in 5 1/3 innings, allowed 4 earned runs off 8 hits. One and 2 to John Singleton. Hogan Harris cut his teeth last year with Oakland. 14 appearances. He ended up starting 6 games, one of 24 starters that the A's had to use last year.
He got some looks last year. He's getting some looks this year.
Full count, and that's fouled back.
You know, Jenny, you hate to put anybody's, time here in the big leagues on the clock, but I think when you have outings like you're getting here from a couple of the starters, it's really going to be about who's pitching better.
That's going to stay in, and we'll have to show some PFP out of the gate. Got the final out for himself. The 1-3, the 2 runs came across. It's 8-0.
Fans, you can get off work and head to the Coliseum to see your green and gold starting next Tuesday when the Rockies make their way to the Bay. From Breast Cancer Awareness Night to Nurses Night, you can make your way to the ballpark during the week for some fun. So grab your tickets today at athletics.com/tickets.
Well, back here in Houston, it is 8-0. Astros added 2 more runs in the 4th inning, and El Reptile, as he's known, the Reptile, Christian Javier, just kind of sliding his way through this lineup. Allowed a hit from Max Schumann, a walk from Tyler Soderstrom, and it's all the traffic he's had. 1-0 to Zach Geloff, called strike.
And that pitch right there has been a big reason why he's been able to just knife his way through this lineup. Retired 8 straight until that Schumann knock back in the 3rd.
Geloff's had just 1 hit since April 19th, and that included an IL stunt where he missed 20 games. For that first one, this is coming at us, Dallas. Oh! thought it was your night. I thought it was going to be Dallas Braden's night.
So close.
I mean, inches,
So close.
like inches. Jeff Blum, our counterpart for the Houston Astros next door, is just razzing you. Strikeout. Zach Geloff retired one down.
Blummer, I ain't got that club in the bag, bud.
I mean, that was, yeah. Hey, Spider-Man's next door.
That's what I hear.
Tapped on the window.
Yeah.
Josh Reddick the other way. Former Astro, filling in on radio. Between the three of you former ball players, I'm a little disappointed that ball didn't end up in someone's hands.
Thought about making a great play. I really wanted to make a great play. In my heart, it was
Josh
there.
Reddick. Couldn't climb out?
Oh, no.
Couldn't hang on?
No, 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 no.
On the ground, and Pena will backhand it, flip it up, and 2 gone.
We've seen him scale plenty of outfield wall in his day. Gold Glover back in 2012 with the green and gold, if you remember. No stranger to extraordinary efforts out there. A's fans would glowingly remind opposing players, don't run on Reddick. Not only could he go and get it, good throwing arm as well.
Here's the 0-1 to Seth Brown. Brown had some history against Javier, now just 2 for 16 after his strikeout in the second. Javier history against these Oakland A's. 8 of his 11 matchups have been at the Coliseum, and this is a guy that loves to pitch at home.
Well, it's his 16th appearance against this green and gold club, so very familiar. You're right, the work at home speaks for itself.
In the air, and will be into the glove of Pena. 3 up, 3 down once again as Christian Javier continues to roll through 5. 8-0 Astros. A's fans, the 2024 schedule is jam-packed with over 30 group themes, special events, and community awareness days this season. Nurses Night and Taiwanese Heritage Night are coming up soon, so grab your tickets today at athletics.com/special events. Yanner Diaz, the hitter here in the bottom of the 5th. Were you getting catching tips from Jeff Blum in between innings?
Well, I think Blummer can appreciate the plight. Zogan Harris makes quick work of Diaz. Wrap that bender around the back foot. But yeah, Blummer said, hey, bud, hang in there. You're all right. 7 years here in this box. I've got one chance, one opportunity I've got.
Wow.
And I said, what do you got to do? He said, well, put a leg up, do something, make an effort. I said, buddy, that ain't happening.
Get the go-go gadget arms.
And he said, yeah, man, one try. I've had one chance this entire time. And I said, well, what do you got? Did you make the play? Did you box it? And he said, come on, sure hands.
Sounds about right. Jeff Blum. A great 14-year career, a couple stints with the Astros here. Some playoff teams, World Series team. I caught Blummer my first year covering baseball as a broadcaster in 2007 with the San Diego Padres. And I remember shortly after doing a story with him on his 4 girls, all 4 and under, that I was like, buddy, if you got your hands full here at home, you got your hands full at the field, You're going to need a nice career in broadcasting later on in life. He's carved himself a nice niche. On his wife Corey, their oldest daughter Mia, and then the triplets. I mean, can you imagine? You have 3 girls at home that are 3 different ages.
Well, and we have discussed that.
Can you just combine that together? Pure chaos.
Well, and that's the thing is, you know, having that conversation, I can talk about it all I want. Plummer, do you have any idea? And he's looking at me going, buddy, oh, I've got an idea. How about all 3 of them at the same age? Like literally minutes
Yeah,
apart.
don't complain to me, bud.
I don't want to hear it. All right, fair enough.
No, it's cool. You guys are both such great girl dads, and it's fun to hear you beam about your girls at home. Oh, Myers just going to wear that one, and he'll head down to first.
Well, remember, this ain't a light and feathery 89-90 from Hogan Harris. This is 97 right on the elbow. It's that right forearm.
Strike to Joey Loperfido. Loperfido getting his feet wet, getting some good playing time as of late.
Well, time now for your play of the day, brought to you by your California Ford dealers, and it was the homer of Loperfido. First MLB blast. That was back in the 3rd inning. I'm sure they would love to get Loperfido the ball back. There may or may not have been some negotiating.
What would you really ask for if you were a fan and you got the ball, they want it back? What are you asking for?
Oh, I'm going to be completely candid, and it's all about the individual who hits it. I mean, if I catch Ohtani's first major league home run ball, he's going to have to adopt me. Like there's, you know, I'm
just
sorry.
Makes sense.
Yeah, no, like what do I want? Everything.
Can I be in your will?
Yeah, Loperfido, you know, you'd probably take a bat.
3-2. And he lost him there. Another walk issued. And now runners on first and second for Jose Altuve coming up.
Well, what can't happen in spots like this, as we know, is you just cannot add traffic to the base path. Left on left, you got your matchup. And now he'll have to deal with Jose Altuve. 8-0, couple guys on. Altuve looking for a heater. Ooh. And he almost got one sewed onto his kneecap.
Talk about the back of the baseball card for this Astros offense, and even when Bregman was struggling, you still go the depth they have at the top of their lineup when all cylinders are clicking. It feels unmatched in this game sometime, especially here at Minute Maid Park. They've gotten nice and cozy and comfy with their offensive numbers here over the years, but you start to look at the awards they've racked up. I mean, Jose Altuve, he's been an MVP in the regular season. Yordan Alvarez, he was the MVP of the ALCS. Don't forget about Jeremy Pena in his first year, MVP of the World Series, and there's another walk for Jose Altuve. Bases will be loaded now with 1 out. Oh, and I almost forgot the All-Star MVP, Alex Bregman. So these guys have found ways to shine on the biggest stages. And that's where they've been, as Scott Emerson comes out to meet with
Well, this is
Hogan.
This is a very one-way conversation. And you see a lot of head nodding. And in so many words, Scott Emerson is saying, you see the plate? Just over the plate. We've got to get back into attack mode. We cannot nibble and nitpick. We have to attack. And you can say that 15 different ways, but it's a combination of trying to give them a little bit of a breather and also trying to reinforce what has to happen. But Jenny, the tough part about the lineup that you're talking about, and especially if you're a left-hander like Hogan Harris right now, you drill Myers, he's on base. Loperfido, the lefty, you give up the free pass to. Altuve, you give the free pass to. And now you get Tucker, who's a part of the most dynamic left-handed platoon when it comes to facing left-handed pitching, and it's the best in baseball between he and Alvarez and Singleton and Loperfido and Cabbage.
He's hit safely in 5 consecutive games. That's going to be a bouncer and perhaps a double play. It is turned. Big time to dial that up. Breathe a little bit. 49 double plays turned now for the Oakland A's. They still trail by 8. Nothing Houston up, and that means Max Schumann's coming up here in the top of the 6th.
Well, check this out. You see that reaction from Shu? That baseball ricocheted and redirected, and he had to adjust on the fly. And I know it might seem, you know, simple and small, something that can maybe fall by the wayside. But again, I try to highlight the little things here, because it's the little things that I think continue to allow these guys to grow and just get used to the game at this level, at this speed. And with the funky spin on the baseball, checks up on the dirt, he's got to hit the brakes and reroute.
Schumann entered tonight, I think 286 against right-handed pitchers compared to just the 130 against lefties. He's going to check the padding on his elbow. Responsible for the lone hit tonight. One-two, that's popped up into foul territory. Charging in is John Singleton. He almost overran it and had to back up.
You see Big John had to hit the brakes.
We'll catch every grand slam and every strikeout with a fast, reliable internet connection. Get the ultimate sports streaming experience with Xfinity, because it's only live once. One out, Abraham Toro up. 2 ground balls today, and Alex Bregman quickly moving into that shortstop position with Pena sliding over, and that ball's ripped towards right field. It's going to land and bounce towards the wall in the corner. Toro will take off for second, and how about an extra base hit? Toro continues to lead the way here in the month of May. 22 hits now.
And the left-hander once again just dropping head on a breaking ball. Slow coming to him. See, he's telling Pena, I'm just throwing the hands. That's what I'm doing.
J.J. Bleday struck out and popped up in foul territory. Javier at 75 pitches now, and again, coming off that injury, not really sure the direction they'll head with him. They would like for him to get some innings, and you're getting through 6 probably feels like a good chunk of the load.
When I think the idea that it's not only through 6 innings, but at least up until this point, it's been unscathed.
Two-1 in the air to center field. Going back is Jake Myers. Camp under it after he gets there, and moving up will be Toro, 90 feet. A productive out from J.J. Bleday.
Jenny, in a night where you had Framber Valdez give you 7 strong innings last night, I think Joe Espada confident in what the bullpen can do, what sort of position they're in.
Conversation between Diaz and Javier. Perhaps a gentle reminder of the guy they're about to face in Brent Rooker.
Well, he's just reminding him, I think, hey, remember, we've gotten this guy twice now, but you cannot make a mistake. So I know it's 8-0, but do not just lay one in there for Brent Rooker right now. Brent Rooker down on strikes twice.
Fouled off a potential homer ball in the first inning that went over the foul pole, and Gotze asked the crew chief if they would do a review. They did, and determined not a home run.
Well, this is the one you were talking about. Loud, long, foul. Just a loud, long strike, as pitchers like to say.
Loud and long here, and keep it in. That'll be fair. Bregman with a throw across his body, and what a play from the third baseman. Alex Bregman is dazzled with the bat this series, and now showing off the glove. And with Toro stranded. The bottom of the 6th, and Trey Cabbage leading off here as the pinch hitter. Cabbage got a chance to start yesterday. Played in left field, got a single, 1 for 3. Mentioned Chas McCormick's making his way back from the IL. Rehab time for him, and as soon as he comes back, there's not a lot of room for all the outfielders they're currently carrying. Swing and a miss there, and a strikeout to start here in the 6th for Hogan Harris.
Well, you can nominate your favorite teacher to show appreciation for all their hard work and commitment during the school year. 5 honorees will receive an A's swag bag, special social media and pregame recognition, and 4 tickets to our Teacher Appreciation Day on Thursday, June 20th. So nominate the special teacher in your life today at athletics.com/teachers.
Alex Bregman swung at the first pitch, and Seth Brown will make the out. 2 gone with Jeremy Pena. Hogan Harris saw him come in and have to make that final out of the 4th inning, and then bases loaded trouble. Hit by pitch, back-to-back walks. A big-time double play started by Max Schumann. Seen a couple strikeouts featured as well. seen a couple of different guys get opportunities at shortstop this season. Obviously, Nick Allen was there. He got sent down. Daryl Hernandez there got hurt. Now the opportunity for Max Schumann every day. Get in there, battle. I really like watching him work too.
Trying to learn from the repetitions.
2-1 on the ground to Schumann on cue. And the low throw, but Soderstrom pulls it in. 3 up, 3 down for Hogan Harris.
Telecast is presented by authority of the Oakland Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Athletics Investment Group, LLC. A's Baseball on NBC Sports California is brought to you by Toyota, class-leading MPG and more hybrid models than any other brand. Toyota, let's go places. And by Mancini Sleep World. Visit Mancini Sleep World for the Memorial Day sales event or visit sleepworld.com.
Tyler Soderstrom leading off the top of the second, or excuse me, top of the 7th, and a pitching change for Houston. That ball's hit hard into the outfield, and Tyler Soderstrom's going to find himself on with a leadoff single. Well, when it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change tune-up and smog experts.
And it's Sean Dubin. It's his 9th appearance this season. On for Christian Javier after 6 solid innings. And again, with Javier coming off the injured list, getting the work he got in last time out. Figured this was a good time to pull him. Plenty of work under his belt.
Right to the backstop. Soderstrom will head towards second. Throw coming down and not in time. So took a good kick off the backstop and Diaz collected it. Soderstrom didn't get the quickest jump after the ball went by.
Well, that ball shot past him, but you can see with the hard kickback, Sodi peeked back just to see where it was, realized, uh-oh, it's right back in his hand. I've got to go.
So wild pitch now has a runner in scoring position for Kyle McCann. Two, excuse me, 3-1. It's going to go to the first baseman and Singleton. He'll flip it over and the runner will move up to third, and Tyler Soderstrom 90 feet away.
Well, with Dubin on, that'll close the book on Christian Javier and his 6 innings of work. Just 2 knocks allowed by the right-hander. Pretty good bounce back effort after the 1 1/3 in Detroit. 8 strikeouts, all that on 80 pitches.
One gone for Zach Geloff. Checked in on Zach's younger brother, Jake, of course, with the Dodgers system. Playing in high A, 288 on the season with 3 home runs. So he's having himself a nice offensive year. We ran into Zach's parents when we were in Baltimore, and they've been bouncing around trying to catch everyone in action, and probably saw a little bit more of Jake when Zach ended up on the IL.
Not a bad way to spend your spring and summer, bouncing around from ballpark to ballpark.
Geloff would love to find a way to bring his friend home. (2-1), and that'll do it. Here comes Soderstrom and Geloff. An RBI knock. Finally on the board. It's been a lot of innings.
It's been a while. Sodi got it going with a great at bat, sent a bullet back up the middle. Here's Geloff, like he's done so many times before, using the other way.
To go back to the 8th inning of Game 2, the last time they scored. 17 scoreless innings. The Astros held down the Oakland Athletics, and nice to get on the board. J.D. Davis on the ground to Pena. He'll throw it over to Altuve, and the Astros have themselves a double play to end the inning. Time to stretch after the A's scored. It's 8-1 here in Houston.
A's legends are headed back to the ballpark for Alumni Sundays. Before Sunday home games, A's alumni will greet fans for autograph sessions. We've got Huddy and Mulder. They're going to kick things off on June 9th, followed by Gene Tennis and the rest of the 74 World Series gang on June 23rd. To learn more or get your tickets, go to athletics.com/alumni Sundays.
Well, the evening at the ballpark started out with tornado warnings and high wind advisories. We saw some rain even come pouring in to Minute Maid Park. The flags out in center field were going crazy. And the Astros offense went off. Had a big 6-run 3rd inning. With their lead 8-1. He's able to get on the board in the top of the 7th. Rodon Alvarez came out of the game for a pinch hitter, but outside of him, the other 8 Astros have found a way to reach base, provide an RBI, hit, some sort of fashion tonight. Last night, Dallas, they did a good job of that as well. 9 starters either had a hit or drove in a run. You know, they just had 8 knocks for their 3 runs in the shutout victory over the Athletics.
Well, everybody in on the action. And that's what happens when you start to get certain guys hot in the lineup. That lineup starts to get a little longer. And I think with Alex Bregman turning things around, that's what it's felt like.
Singleton finally strikes out, looking on a full count. He's walked the other 2 times he's been in that count. Here's earlier tonight. I mean, it was an unbelievable scene. And again, I know you can go to investigative reporter Dallas Braden's Instagram. Is it the 209 Mayor? Is that what we got working?
You got it. Look at those flags. Never something you want to see as a pitcher.
We're all over it. Diaz in foul territory. Soderstrom will make the catch and 2 gone.
Yeah, when the flags are blowing up and out, it's not ideal.
Enter inside. Yeah, not ideal. Well, there will be no indoor baseball coming up this weekend in Kansas City. I'm not sure if you've peeped the weather on that one, but we got some smoking hot temperatures waiting for us.
Yeah, I'd like to sit out in that fountain if possible.
Jake Myers will foul it off. Well, we can eliminate Hogan Harris now from the possibilities of potential starters for the A's tomorrow. They do utilize an arm in the bullpen, which is a possibility to start the game. You could look at Mitch Spence or Kyle Muller. It's on the ground, 3rd base, and across the diamond. 5-3, 3 up, 3 down for Hogan Harris in the 7th.
Just got better, A's fans. Starting May 21st, bring your furry friend to the ballpark every Tuesday home game this summer for Bark at the Ballpark, presented by Clark Pest Control. Get your tickets for you and your pup at athletics.com/bark.
Seth Brown will lead it off. Saw Road Trip Mike there. You better check on your guy. It's a scary little drive tonight.
Yeah, I think he's prepared. He told me Van's gassed up. I'm ready to roll. See you in KC. Sounds like there's going to be a bit of a delay with the conditions of the roads and such outside and right around here in the immediate area of the ballpark. It's been noted there has been some damage.
I know what you want to hear. 2 strikes now on Seth Brown. Well, defensive changes for Joe Espada. He's going with Greg Kessinger at shortstop and Mauricio Dubon. You'll see gold on that second baseman's glove he has going on because he won the Utility Gold Glove Award last year, and a strikeout for Seth Brown to lead off the 8th. Dubin and Dubon. Does that get a little confusing in the clubhouse? Everyone's calling both of them Doobie. You gotta get
the right letter and the right accento in the right place.
See, you do. What a good kid, Mauricio Dubon. So much energy, plays with so much energy. It's hard enough to play one position, Gold Glove caliber, right? And you get the award because you can go all over the field in any position.
Well, that's
all 5 of his gloves have it.
That's what athleticism provides. Flexibility, roster flexibility.
Max Schumann on the ground to Dubon. And 2 gone.
You know, and it's nice that the utilitarians of our game are recognized and have an opportunity to be appreciated, because a lot of times and for a long time that job went very underappreciated, almost a thankless role, sort of like that of a long relief pitcher. You know, those innings and those outs are important, as I talk about a lot. That's what bridges the gap and fills the holes between outings that might not go so well, and then being able to get everybody in the bullpen back on track. Same thing defensively. You can give guys a breather here and there. It really helps the manager out, because he doesn't feel like he has to try to hide somebody who might not be the same quality of defender. Tyler Ferguson now warming for the A's.
Brett Harris came in defensively for Abraham Toro, and now 2-0. Harris has had a couple starts off here on this trip, and really the perspective of being able to sit in the dugout for a young guy can almost be as valuable as clearly the play on the field, right? Sometimes it's utilized as a breath or a breather or whatever it might be, but when you're a young player and you can open your eyes during a major league game from a different perspective, how much do you learn?
Well, it's the conversations really more so than even just watching. You know, you watch, you anticipate, you play the game from the dugout. But I think it's being able to get up and, you know, go ask a coach a question, go ask your manager a question when the time's right, and just hearing and listening to maybe some of your teammates and their perspective.
The 2-2 is going to hit him, coming straight for him. 82, he'll take it and take his base.
See Harris not too terribly concerned with trying to budge. So I got a shield on. I'll tuck the elbow and take my bag.
JJ Bleday, the batter now for Oakland. Conversation between Ross Stripling and Scott Emerson. Ross Stripling will go in Game 2 Saturday evening in Kansas City.
And that right there is kind of what we're talking about, right? Ross Stripling, a veteran, been around this game a while. That'd be a great guy to just go pick his brain, even as a hitter. You know, what do you see? Have you seen anything? This is what I'm thinking. So many times, I think there's a lot of information to be had and a lot of information to be gleaned from a teammate on the opposite side, right? You're watching a position player, and if you're a pitcher, you've watched this teammate take it bat after at bat. You've watched him get to certain pitches. You watch him struggle with certain pitches. You know what you're seeing. That's why, you know, throughout the minor leagues, the bus rides, that's where there's a lot of lessons learned, a lot of education, a lot of growth takes place, and you couldn't be farther away from the diamond.
Two to Blade on the ground to second base, and Dubon will make the out at first. Harris was hit by a pitch, and not much else going on as it's 8-1 Astros. Time now for our Toyota game summary. It's 8-1. The Astros put up a 6th spot in the 3rd inning when Joey Estes was pitching. 3 2/3 for him. They hits the 8 earned runs, 4 walks, and 4 strikeouts in his 2nd start of the year. 4th big league start. Christian Javier, the bounce back outing in his 2nd start since his return off the IL. 6 innings pitched, 2 hits on 80 pitches, and Joey Loperfido at his very first major league home run. Offense once again very quiet for the Oakland A's.
Well, Tyler Ferguson on trying to get the last 3 outs here of this turn before we head to the 9th inning.
So these were the changes that they made last half inning. Ruiz in left field and Harris at 3rd base. The 0-2, a swing and a miss. A strikeout to start for Ferguson.
Come in slinging it. A pretty good pitch here. Slider with depth in the zone.
Mauricio Dubon, his first plate appearance. Sitting on 198 hits as a Houston Astro. It's popped up and will get out of play. Acquired from the Giants 2 years ago. And that ball's flared, but Zach Geloff will make the catch. 2 gone. Well, Xfinity Mobile customers now get exclusive access to Wi-Fi speeds up to a gig on the go. Stay connected to the A's with Xfinity Mobile. That'll bring up Kyle Tucker here with 2 outs. Tucker kept relatively quiet today, and I say that kind of tongue-in-cheek. Just 1 for 2, but he did walk twice, and both of those led to him scoring part of the 8 runs for the Astros today, but he continues to play like an MVP candidate. I mean, there's no question it's very early in the season. We're sitting here in the middle of May, but you look at his numbers, Dallas. He's an extra base hit in 8 of his last 9 games, including 5 in a row coming into tonight. Over a 9-game stretch, he's hit 3 doubles, 5 homers, 8 RBI. We know that he leads the majors in homers with the 13 he has. We're starting to see all those signs when everyone in the postseason goes, wow, this guy's so sneaky. Maybe he's not so sneaky anymore.
Well, and that's the thing. I don't think he's been sneaky for a while. I think he's just been overshadowed.
Yeah.
Because of some of the performances surrounding him. You know what? You've got Yordan Alvarez, who burst on the scene in the fashion that he has. Alex Bregman and Jose Altuve have been mainstays when it comes to, you know, Silver Slugger conversations and things like that. So I think what goes overlooked for Kyle Tucker, and specifically a part of his game, the power-speed combination, because he can drive the ball and he can scoot.
Here comes a full count from Tyler Ferguson, and that's fouled off.
Looks like he won the battle.
A battle going on between Ferguson and Tucker. That ball's hit well towards right field, but Seth Brown will come in and make the catch. 3 up, 3 down for Tyler Ferguson on to the top of the 9th. Back in Houston, Esteury Ruiz will lead off the top of the 9th. In place of Brent Rooker after he came in on defense. That strike from Dubin. All of a sudden, the bullpen struggles for the Astros, and how worried they were becoming about the usage is seemed to tighten up here the last couple of days, as Dubin looks like he's going to finish out with 3 innings after Javier gave him 6. You mentioned Valdez yesterday. 7 strong for him. They will be full strength, ready to go for the Milwaukee Brewers coming to town for the weekend set. And a strike 3 called on Ruiz.
And that is what quality outings, deep performances from your starting pitcher can do. As I mentioned, it just sort of resets everybody down there in the bullpen. You got the 7 from Fromber last night. You get 6 tonight from Javier. And you're able to get Dubin some work, some extended work. And I think that's always important.
Tyler Soderstrom got a hit that led to the lone run for the A's in the 7th. Zach Geloff drove him in with a much-needed hit. Zach had been an 0 for 12 stretch. First hit since Zach came off the IL. What have you noticed with Soderstrom in round 2 this year after, you know, getting that playing time last year? There's a chopper on the ground and a fight for the ball. Dubon will win. Soderstrom just feels like he's a different comfort level about him.
That's it. That's it. And it's, I know it might sound like a common theme, but you got to remember, we have multiple guys who are experiencing this game, you know, for the first time, and maybe sometimes for an extended time. You know, Tyler Soderstrom, he's been to this level before, but making his way back, you've got a pretty good familiarity how things go, and sometimes it's just feeling that much more comfy in your own skin here that can make all the difference in the world.
Well, the difference this Oakland A's team is going to have to find in Kansas City this week is some offense. 51% of their runs are scored via the home run, and they haven't had one in quite some time. A swing and a miss from McCann. 130 at-bats without a homer. Just 4 runs over the 4-game set. McCann in the air to center field, and Jake Myers will jog on in and collect the final out of the ball game. The Astros sweep the Oakland A's in a 4-game set. First time they've been swept in a 4-game set since last May at Seattle. It's a 5-game losing streak now, a season long for the Athletics. And again, the road trip, the long road trip, will continue on to Kansas City.
Well, the fellas on the mound for the Houston Astros did phenomenal work. And I think that right there is what kind of set the A's behind the 8 ball early in this series. Never really able to regain their footing. And that's kind of what happens when you run into a buzzsaw on the mound, Jenny. No home runs, and when your offense comes 50% of the time or more from the long ball, it's tough to win ball games without it.
The Astros, they improved to 19-25. They've won 7 of 8 now. Well, that'll do it for us from Houston. We'll see you from Kansas City tomorrow, but stay tuned for Toyota A's post-game live, which starts right now.